Hey everyone, great to be with you today. For those of you that I haven't yet met, my name is Kate Golle. I'm one of the NMDs in Australia and have now been a part of this amazing company and mission for just over 5 years, and excited to be able to show you what it looks like to be able to really start your business strong, or if you've been a part of the team for a while and maybe you've lost momentum, how you get that back and step into what we call the high paying activities. I see more and more for people today, it's so easy to get distracted. We're pulled in so many different directions. So I'm really big on helping put the blinkers on when it's time to work on your business, knowing what you're going to do, how you're going to go about it. And obviously, we've got family, we've got jobs, we've got lots of things that are demanding our attention. So how do you actually be present to whatever you're doing and get the most out of your day, and also help people along this way? Because ultimately, we said yes to this to create some sort of extra freedom in our life, whether that's more health freedom, whether that's more time freedom, whether that's extra dollars in the bank account so that you can travel more or give back to those that you love, or whatever your reasons are. There's a reason that you're putting time into this. And so I think it's really important in the beginning for you to get clear on what winning and success looks like for you. And as you start to build a team around you, knowing what winning and success looks like for your team. I'm not going to go too much into numbers today. There's plenty of trainings on the mechanics of what it looks like to get to those first couple of promotions in Australia and New Zealand. We've got some peeps from the US joining in today as well. But essentially, to start with, you need to, and you should want to go on your own health journey. It's really hard to recommend and share something with anyone if you aren't doing it yourself. And if you're not authentic, people are going to feel that too, right? So benefiting from, the products for yourself and your family first. But essentially, to get to our first promotion, it's helped 3 people get on the products. The premium capsules, that's for me the staple, the fruit, the veg, and the berry blend. And help 3 other people as well as yourself, and you've well and truly got your first promotion, which is pretty cool. What it comes down to though is looking at, like I said before, being really clear on success and what it means to you. Because what it means to you is different to what it means to me. What it means to you right now is going to be different than in 6 months from now, because life changes, goals change, which is totally fine. But I think the sooner you can connect with your mentor and get really clear on, okay, what would success look like for me? It would mean X amount of dollars a month so these bills could be covered. Awesome. Well, then how many customers would I need to help get started or team so that I can work towards that? So it's really important that you have that conversation with your mentor to be able to get granular on your specific situation. But I think ultimately, if I look at my journey and what really kept me going in the times that it was challenging or frustrating, because let's be honest, there's so much potential that you can create from this business. This has delivered more than I could have possibly imagined. Yet there's also challenge, there's also frustration, there's also times where people say no and you thought they were going to say yes. There's times where you feel tired and you don't feel like you've got the time to work on this, but you should. So there's lots of things that are going to come along the way. It's just getting really clear on what's working in your life right now, what's not, and what do you want more of. And the clearer you can be on that, that was the thing that kept me going day after day when I was tired, when I was working 16-hour days in my business, when I had 3 little ones under 5 pulling me in all different directions. I had a really clear vision of what I wanted to create for my future and for my family, and that was the thing that kept me going. So one of the things that I have observed with people lately that I thought I would just speak a little into is there's a lot of people out there that are like learning junkies. Like everyone, just like where people are showing up and they're listening to this and they're watching that, and they might feel like they have to know it all before they actually take the action. And so what I wanted to share with you today is that more training won't equal more results. Most of you know what you should be doing, you're just probably not doing it. Just like you think about our health, we know we should drink more water, we know we should move our body, we know we should have more fruits and veg in our body. Most people know what we should be doing, we're just not doing it. So my recommendation is that you get really clear, looking at your week, looking at your schedule, whether you've got kids, study, full-time job, part-time job, partner, whatever it is, that you look at where in your week this business fits in. Because what I've observed with some people is they are showing up on time for their boss at 8:50 for a 9 o'clock start in their job, but then they're not actually showing up for themselves in their business. So what I want you to do is actually look at, all right, Mondays I work, all right, I get an hour lunch break, I can do some here. I'm going to just actually plan it out, because if you don't plan it, it's not going to happen. I think that's a really, a really key thing, is know where this fits in. And because what happens is we get notifications all the time. And so we can delude ourselves going, oh, I've been working on my business because I saw a notification pop up and I sent a message. What I want you to do is actually, where you can, find 10 to 15 minute pieces of time where you can just do one thing and do it well. Because if you do a little bit here and a little bit there, now sometimes that's great. You got little ones around your feet. Sometimes that's the only way you can do it, right? I get it, because I was there myself. Then I just went, well, I'm just going to work on my business when they're asleep. I'm going to stay up later at night, and that's when I'm going to really put my time in. And then through my day, I'm going to be listening and learning, whether it's like just listening to an audio of a training or something, so that I can be doing other things at the same time. Because what I see for some people that is missing is they're learning a lot. They're showing up to trainings, or they're learning. They feel like they need to know it all, but they're not actually taking the action to get the results. So you could be the world's best Juice Plus expert, but if you're not actually helping clients, then it doesn't really matter. And it's interesting, I had a lady who got started. She joined my team maybe just under a year ago. Long list of health credentials, like phenomenal. I've got people on our team that are just mamas on a mission, that are wanting to help people, and they've got a burning desire to do so, helping 10 times more people than her, because they're actually taking the action. So knowledge does not mean a thing. We don't need you to know more. We actually need to bring it into action. So that's where I'm really big on. Look at the amount of time that you're actually spending on working on your business. And if you're brand new, this is perfect, because you can set it up so that your drive time, or your exercise time, or your cleaning time, or your dinner prep time is learning, because you've got something listening in the background. And then when it's actually time to work on your business, you're sitting down ideally and you're going, 10 minutes, this is all I'm doing for this chunk, and I'm getting it done. Because otherwise we think we're doing the stuff and we're actually not. So let me talk about, I talk about the 3 major activities that I believe are the things that are going to grow your business. The first one is conversations. If you're not having conversations, you don't have a business. So we can do a launch post, and we can do posts online, and all of those are great. And that's definitely an element of what we do. But conversations are the things that are going to drive more conversations, helping people wanting to learn more about your products, your program, how you can help them. And we can open up our shop front and do a few posts and hope that someone's going to walk in our door. But if we're out on the street and we're talking to people, hey, how are you? Oh my gosh, you're looking great today. I haven't seen you in ages. That person is going to get more business every single day of the week. So it's just getting out of our comfort zone and starting conversations. That's the first key. So what I suggest, you want to look at what your bare ass minimum, your BAM, is going to be for your business. And what is right for me is not right for you. I think we hear about, you might have heard the term DMO, daily method of operation. That's great. It's a good little checklist to kind of go through of what are the things I need to do to work on my business. If we keep it real simple, what are the things that you're going to do daily that are an absolute must, and you won't let your head hit the pillow until it's done? And one of the things that I don't like saying should, but I'm going to say should be a part of your bare ass minimum is starting conversations each day. Now, if you want to have some momentum or some growth happening, versus some people are just going to be happy helping a few people, and that's great. Awesome. If that's success for you, perfect. But I would guess if you're watching this training and you're, putting time aside out of your day, you probably got bigger goals than that. You want to help more people. You want to create more income. Fantastic. You want to be starting at least 5 new conversations a day, minimum. When I was in go mode and I was building kind of from SSC to NMD, it was more like 15 to 20. So you get to choose the speed at which you go. 5 a day consistently, that's 150 in a month. That's a lot, right? But it's not when you break it into daily. New conversations, Jody. So when you're doing that, it's like, oh my gosh, Jody, I just saw you pop up in my news feed. It's been so long. How are you and the kids? That's done in a conversation with my intention of circling back at some point and bringing up at some point to find out what is going on in Jody's world. How can I possibly link up what I'm doing? How can we collaborate? All that kind of stuff. But it's just every conversation I look like I'm throwing out, I see it like I'm throwing out a lifeline. And you probably, for those of you that have been on this training with me a few times, you're probably like, here we go again. It's like, I feel like I'm a broken record, but it's, if you see it like this, I think you might see starting conversations in a different light. I have no idea what's going on in someone's world. If they've got financial stress, if they've got health challenges, if their best friend just got diagnosed with a health condition, if they just got their hours reduced at work, if they're going through a breakup in financial, we don't know what's going on in their world. So you just being a nice person and connecting and saying, hey, what's going on? I'm not sending them my link to, you should order from me straight away. I'm building a relationship. But my intention with every one of those lifelines is that I am starting a conversation. I don't know where it could go, but I have no control over it if and when the timing is right. But here's the other thing. At the same time, I'm telling a story on my Facebook or my Instagram about who I am, about what I'm passionate about and how I'm making a difference. And if those things line up and that person gets to a point where they've seen another post of mine and I've been having a conversation, that's when it starts to all work together. So conversations have to happen first. Really, really important. 5 a day minimum, I say, and if not, go for more. If you've got bigger goals, or you're going for a particular promotion or something like that, getting into action. 150 in the month, that's pretty cool. We don't know who and when the timing is now, or whether it's in 3 months from now, or a year from now. But if you're still doing what you're doing in a year from now, and you're being a good person and you're following up with people and you're connecting with them, and you're adding value online, then you're going to be the person that they think about as well. The second thing that we want to spend time on is engaging with people. So if you were to look at your day, and let's, for argument's sake, say that you have 30 minutes that you can work on your business, actually working on your business, not training and stuff, the action things, break it into 3 10-minute pieces of time. But we don't do the other things. And if we don't do the first thing of conversations, the other things don't happen. So it's like the paramount first thing. Then the second thing is, so imagine we spend 10 minutes on conversations. You can get a lot of conversations started in 10 minutes. Right now, I can go into my phone and see who's online live right now, and I can start 10 chats. If you're organized, you've got some reach out, I don't like to say scripts, but examples of how you're going to start a conversation saved in the notes of your phone. And you can literally go through a news feed and go, oh, and I could go, hey, how are you? Love the photos. How are the kids? Da, 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 da. And I could get 10 convos done really, really quickly. Then you want to obviously keep note of who you start having a conversation with. So then engaging is a post, and you can use part of your day to already think about as you're driving to work or as you're doing a task or whatever. Oh yeah, that photo of me the other day when I took the kids at the beach, I'm going to do that. I'm going to write something along the lines of this as an example. So you can already be thinking about it so that when it comes time to posting, you don't have to overthink it. Sometimes if you're spending 15 to 30 minutes planning out on a post, like sitting down to write it out, we're probably overthinking it a little bit. It doesn't have to be like that. So when we're engaging with people, we're doing a post, we're sharing something on our social media that's telling a story about who we are, what we love, our family, our sense of humor, our interests around health and fitness and whatever it might be. And also your program and how you like to help people. So there's going to be a different flow to everyone's because we've all got different passions. Someone's going to love horse riding, others are going to love surfing. And so you're going to intertwine all of that together. So then the other thing is we're engaging with people. So that's where you look at everyone that you've started a conversation with or you want to, and then you jump in there and you love and you like and you comment and you connect with them and their story and their posts. When you do that, that's when we start increasing our, we're going to show up more on their newsfeed, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, and vice versa. So the more we engage with the people that we want to connect with and talk to, it's a good thing. So sometimes what I've seen for some people, if they've been a part of Juice Plus for a while, their whole newsfeed is Juice Plus people. And that's all lovely, but that's not going to help you help lots of people. So you might even need to go in and start, not unfriending, but start unfollowing some people, so that it's creating space in your newsfeed for people that you can help to show up. Because I bet you've got a friend, a Facebook friend, that you haven't seen any of their posts on your newsfeed. But if you were to physically go search and see what's happening in the world, there's a whole lot of stuff that you haven't seen. So it's actually being deliberate in who you actually want to see, and being organized with that. So possibly you might need to unfollow some people. So then, awesome. So Francesca said she did that yesterday and she's already seeing new people coming up on her feed. So that's great. So then once we're engaging with people, so we're becoming more top of mind to them, that's a good thing. And then we just want to circle back. When we start a conversation, we're not doing it to have 150 new pen pals in the month. We're doing it with the intention of ideally being able to help them or someone that they love at some point. And for some of those people, it's now, and others it's going to be in months from now. But when people are asking for more information from you, or you've shared a link to a preview group or someone's story, for example, then it's circling back. So the last piece of your kind of your three main things, the first one is starting conversations. The second one is engaging with people. And so your engagement is going to be a post on social media or your stories and polls and things like that, but also then jumping onto people's pages that you want to stay connected to as well. And then the last thing is following up with people. So if we do all of that work and we start conversations and we've got, we're engaging with people, but we're not circling back and saying, hey, just thought I'd check in. I'd love to know what you like best about the information I shared with you. A few months back, you said you were keen to get started. I'm helping some other clients get started this week. Is it something you're still interested in? If we're not doing that, then all the other work we've done is kind of a waste. So you want to be good at circling back with people and just remembering not to overthink or read into people's responses or lack of. We don't know what's going on in their world. We don't know, like last week, my daughter got chicken pox. It was fantastic. And I had a couple of messages that came through when I was in the thick of crazy, and I read them, and in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll respond to them later. And then I've only looked at them today and went, oh my gosh, I didn't actually get back to them. And so it happens, right? So that's just people are getting pulled in all sorts of directions. So when you circle back with them, don't read into it or think that they don't necessarily like what you've shared or anything like that. In regards to follow-up, Belinda's asking, how do you keep track? So I've just moved my desk around a little bit, but let me see if I've got... You've got a couple of ways that you can keep track, Belinda. So you've got something like, just a diary where you write names down and keep it really, really simple, pen to paper. I definitely like pen to paper. Yeah, so the 30 days, so there's a few options. I mean, for some of you, you might just have a diary, and literally on each day of it, you write down all the people that you reached out to that day, and then you can flick back through. It's all in one book. That's cool. For a long amount of time, like here's one of my 30-day grids from March 2016. So I definitely like pen and paper. And so this was showing a 30-day grid is a piece of paper with 30 squares. That's it. And so I would put the names of the people down on each square for the day that I started conversations with. And then I'd highlight them when they became a customer or when they became a team member. So then if I am a month down the track and I've started conversations with all these people and I go, oh, I need to just follow back and check in, I could literally go a few months back and go, oh, that's right, I started conversations with all these people. I've got one from June 2018. So it just you get to organize yourself how you're going to follow through with it. Some people keep it in the notes section of their phone. Others use a calendar and they'll have it remind them. And then there's also a page program called Teamsy, EAMZY.com. I think it's like $20 a month. And that's like an online system where it will prompt you to circle back and follow up with people as well, which is really cool too. Jody says, I really struggle with conversations. We do the how are you and whatever, and then I don't know what to do from there. Can you suggest books or podcasts or something to help me be authentic? Sure. So one of my favorite audio books, Mel Robbins, The 5-Second Rule. I don't know if you've listened or heard of her. She's phenomenal. 5-second rule, because here's the thing. We go into doubting our authenticity. We go into doubting, am I going to say the right thing? We go into doubting of, or what do they think of me? Instead of actually just doing it and realizing that your intent is good. You're going to say the right thing. Sometimes you might stuff it up, but that's how we learn. So her methodology, Jody, is literally as a rocket is launching. You don't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We count down from 5 to 1. It's kind of like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm just going to message that person. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to step into action. So circling back with someone to just say, hey, Sarah, I just wanted to connect. I've been admiring, what you've been sharing on social media about you and your family, or how passionate you are about blah, blah, blah. I don't know if this even could be something, but I think we're so similar in a lot of ways. I'd love to see if there is a way that we could possibly collaborate, because your energy and what you're putting out there is just epic. Would love to chat more if you're interested. I mean, that's as an example. It's going to be different to different people, the way you're speaking with them, but just offer someone a compliment. Let them know what you admire or what you've observed in what they're all about and how much you like that. If it's true, don't just make stuff up. And then from there, just bring it back to, I have no idea. It might sound crazy, but I'd just love to see if there was a way that we could connect in some way and potentially collaborate or create something cool together. And then you just don't know where that conversation is going to go. Most people, when you offer them a compliment, first of all, they're going to be grateful and like, oh wow, thank you. So just, I think, don't doubt yourself, Jody. I think that would be my first thing. There's so many wellness podcasts out there. Thanks for sharing, Shell, but that's not necessarily going to make you get into action. I don't think you listening to more podcasts to be more authentic is what you need. I actually think you just need to do it and get more action. You will create, you've probably heard this over and over and over again, doubt will take you out of action and action will take you out of doubt. So right now, you just need to do more of it and stop doubting yourself. And I promise you, after you've done 20 or 30 follow-ups like that in a condensed period of time, you'll be like, you get in the flow of things and you feel way more confident in what you're saying. So I would say Mel Robbins, she's just a freaking rock star and she'll get you into action big time. Do I just write the person's name in the box for the 30-day grid? I've been stuck on this. I do, because if I jump back into my messenger, I see everything that's happened there. So if I'm doing the grid, I might pop a little note to say, like, where I met them, like a little dash, so that jogs my memory. But yeah, normally I just put their name on there and then everything's there in my messenger anyway, of the previous conversations as well. When they say yes, I get stuck in the sharing. I'm super science-minded in the background in nutrition and physio, and I think I get straight to the facts. Yeah, okay. Good point, Belinda, and I think this is really important. There's something, there was a training done, I can't remember the lady's name. It's called Bank, B-A-N-K. I know that if you jump onto Eric Worre's GoPro podcast, it's there, and I think there was a video interview just done. I thought it was shared into their franchise page, so maybe someone can help with that. But basically, there's 4 main kinds of personalities, and with what you're sharing, BANK stands for B is blueprint, A is action, N is the nurturer, and K is knowledge. And so with our blueprint and knowledge people, we feel like we need to know it all and understand everything before we could tell anyone. And that we also feel like they should know every little bit of information so that they can make an educated decision. Eric Worre, W-O-R-R-E. So what happens is with our science lovers and our education lovers, sometimes they can actually talk people out of the products because they bombard with way too much information. So that's great that you recognize that, Belinda. Most people, like I remember having a lady probably similar to yourself on the team, and she had a customer that literally was like, here's my credit card. Yep. And she's like, but don't you want Sherry Tree? Thank you, Mo. Sherry Tree is the creator of the bank method. She's like, but don't you want a brochure? Don't you want to watch the video? And the lady was like, no, I trust you. Like, just here's my card details. And she just couldn't. What do you mean? Like, she couldn't understand that this woman would just want to get on the products based on some basic understanding. Most people, that's all they want and need. So it's really important that you, if someone's saying, I'd like more information, I'll always say, well, so tell me, what exactly would you like to know more about? There's a lot of science. Would you like to know that? Do you want to know some of the how the products are made, or would you rather hear about how the products have benefited some of our clients? And so they're going to tell me what they would like. And if they say, I want to know about results, awesome. Tell me, is there one or two areas of your health that you'd love to see an improvement in, that I might be able to share a story that's similar to that? So then I'm finding out what they want to hear versus here's my encyclopedia of everything that I've learned ever, and you should know it too, because people just are bombarded and it's not their thing. You will know a blueprint and knowledge person when you speak to them, and then you can send them all those research papers and feel really good about it. But otherwise, if you do that to the everyday person, they will just slowly back away. And they would just be totally overwhelmed. So I think it's really important. For me, I'm an action person. So I'm just like, okay, tell me what to do. Cool. All right, I've done that. Tell me what's next. But everyone's different. So it's important you understand what you are, and then the pros and cons of what you are. There's good and bad in all, to then be able to communicate effectively to whether it's a potential customer or teamie or existing team and customers, because everyone's different. So yeah, I would suggest, particularly around that, if you search BANK training, she's written a book, and yeah, she's done lots of podcasts on it. Definitely will give you some clarity around that as well. So hopefully that is helpful for everyone today. I love all the questions that you have shared, and hopefully that's been helpful for you all. If you don't already know, we've got the game plan coming up, the game plan weekend coming up the first weekend of November on the Gold Coast, which is really exciting. And then you probably have already seen in the partner group, there is some really exciting information that's getting released on the 18th, 19th of October. And I know that there's going to be one big online day sharing some really cool stuff, as well as some city trainings as well around that. So make sure that you know all about that. Your upline leaders will definitely be able to give you more information too. But super grateful to be on with you all today. Excited to see you at an upcoming training or event. And just be really clear on what action looks like and when you're going to be spending time in your day doing it. And don't confuse the learning with the action time. Just get into action. Don't overthink it, and trust yourself. Back yourself and have an epic day. Thanks, everyone.